Imagine playing with Gibby and Lou, playing for Red and Whitey, and broadcasting Ozzie and Albert. And along the way, setting some kind of record for most appearances promoting Cardinal baseball. Al Hrabosky will go to the Cardinal Hall of Fame in September. With the help of photographer Tom Stasiak, we have his story. It's not what you would expect his hobby to be. He does it alone and in a delicate, unassuming way, far removed from when Al Hrabosky was on the pitching mound.
Cedeno against Hrabosky, leading off in the ninth inning. The windup in the first pitch. Look out! And the ball hit him. Cedeno goes out for Hrabosky, takes a punch at him, and we've got a wild brawl with both dugouts emptying.
In my mind, I was going to pick him up and body slam him.
As Hrabosky struck Cedeno with the ball, the umpires are trying to pull him apart, and
they were like satellites of just horrendous aggression all over.
Now there are other fights breaking out along the fringe. There they go at it again.
So when I went to lift him, Teddy jumped on his back and everything, and my head ended up between his legs. And I'm sure for a minute I tried to lift. And I remember afterwards, Simmons and I were talking. I go, man, my neck's killing me. And he goes, you got us in this mess. You better get us out.
Al Hrabosky was born 75 years ago in Oakland. At age 20, the Cardinals' first-round pick made his major league debut. And 4 years later, Al decided to become the Mad Hungarian, where he would get behind the mound to properly prepare himself for battle.
I went behind the mound and I said, okay, I want to throw a fastball down the way. And I visualized myself winding up and throwing it a positive action of the swing and miss. And I just got on the mound and physically did it and went exactly where I want. And it kind of like, hey, maybe this is something here.
It was something, all right. In 1975, Hungo was the best relief pitcher on the planet. A league-leading 22 saves to go along with a staggering 13 wins and a microscopic 1.67 earned run average. However, Dodger manager Walter Alston didn't select him for the All-Star team. The Dodgers came to Busch the last series before the Midsummer Classic. The Cardinals staged a We Love Hrabosky banner day to show support. Al got the win that day.
I was really thrilled, but I went downstairs and I got dressed and I started thinking about it, and I went back up and I said, what happens if nobody shows up? And so, when that day happened, it was my All-Star game.
His greatest game came 2 years later. On national television, Al entered the game against the world champion Cincinnati Reds.
The thing that I remember most is that he walked the first three batters.
I went behind the mound and I paused for a second and I told myself, I get into meditation and self-hypnosis and visualization, but I said, this is the moment you've been dreaming about. This is probably as close as ever have, so have fun with it.
I think it was pretty close to about 9 pitches, okay, and 3 strikeouts, all swing and misses. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, over. We win. And Big Al, strutting off. I remember I walked up to him, sat down, take the stuff off, he's sitting there, he's still on fire. And I just looked at him, I said, hey, Al, I never seen anything like that in my whole life. I said, hats off. I said, right to his face.
Vern Rapp got right in Al's face in 1977. The old-school Cardinal manager wanted his players clean-shaven.
Everybody forgets I shaved the first half of the season. And it just, I made a couple comments like I felt like I was going to war without a gun.
Because with the mustache, the Mad Hungarian was
6'8", 292 pounds, biggest, baddest dude ever. No rules pertain to me.
Al won the battle and was allowed to keep the facial hair, but Gussie Busch didn't hold back.
I intend to call your bluff, and you said in the newspapers that you can only get batters out by being psyched up with your mustache and beard. Then go on ahead and grow it. But boy, are you going to look like a fool if you don't get batters out.
We didn't have cell phones. I couldn't call Brock. I couldn't call, Gibby or Teddy and say, hey, set me straight. It's the biggest mistake I ever made.
A manager can kind of pick your spots.
Broadcasting was one of the best decisions he ever made. For about 40 years, Al has been a part of Cardinal broadcast, where the legend continued to grow.
Everybody knows who he is, and yes, with traveling, Al's big everywhere. And what I find to be true about Al is the people, the stage managers, the camera guys, and gals, as we go on the road, they love to talk about Al. How's Al doing? Because he's not traveling now, they miss him because he was so nice to them. I think that's to me, that's a great testament to the kind of person Al is.
That's why it was appropriate on a Cardinal pregame show that a surprised Al got the news he was a Hall of Famer.
He's a person that we're all familiar with and still active in Cardinals business today, and his name is Al Hrabosky.
I'm still trying to deal with it. You know, it's pretty emotional. You know, people for years had talked about it, and I always downplayed it. You know, always something that you dream about. But until you get that notification, you're not one. And it still hasn't really hit. And I'm going to look really forward to next year's opening day, but I'm dreading the ceremony because I know I'm going to get very emotional.
So do you know what any of the plans are for September 6th?
The woman who has been by his side for the last 32 years is wife June.
One of the most often questions that I've gotten over the last 30-something years that we've been together is when fans are talking to him or asking autograph, and it'll be man or woman, pull me aside, what's it like to live with him? And I was like, oh, no, that's on-field Al, not off-field Al.
She's not only been my best friend, but you know, she's a true partner, and in many ways, I think she saved my life.
And what a life it's been for this ambassador of Cardinal baseball, this broadcaster of Cardinal baseball, and this pitcher, maybe the only one in history, who incited the Cubs so much they put 2 batters in the batter's box at one time.
To see him in that jacket for his benefit, I know how proud he'll be of it. I know how proud I am of it. And, you know, he's, as I say, he's the Mad Hungarian. And in St. Louis, if you don't know who the Mad Hungarian is, then you don't belong as part of Cardinal Nation, because he represents what Cardinal Nation is really all about. Mad Hungarian is the real deal.